So, Manchester United faced off against Fulham in one of the FA Cup quarter-finals this weekend, and let's be honest, if you've heard anything about this game, you'll see that it was quite an interesting, entertaining game. However, when we get onto the first half, nothing much really happened, to be honest. I mean, Fulham were the better team. They basically controlled most of the first half, and United, for the most part, really kind of just struggled. We couldn't really get out of our own half for about the first 10-15 minutes. We just couldn't put passes together. Fulham were just dictating everything. They were intercepting everything. They were just putting United under so much pressure, and it was working and working and working. However, as the first half went on, both teams started creating chances. Nothing really clear-cut when it came to the chances. I mean, it wasn't anything where you would expect the teams to put them away. But from a United perspective, they started going forward a lot better towards the end of the first half and created a couple of chances, nothing really too much. Same on Fulham's end, really. They created chances, nothing clear-cut, just kind of like putting pressure on the opposition. That's really what both teams are doing. However, for the first half, I would say that Fulham were the better team. Fulham, if you had to pick whoever deserved to be in the lead from the first half, I would 100% say it was Fulham. So, yeah, that was the first half, and it was 0-0, so no one was in front. However, going into the second half, the game really started to pick up more. More clear-cut chances were created, and then, I think in the 50th minute, Fulham got a corner. The corner was played in. Diop flicked the ball to the back post where Mitrovic was there and just stuck it in the back of the net. So then Fulham, really deservedly, went 1-0 up. And then after this, Fulham had a couple of very, very good chances from crosses, and both of them were Mitrovic. With the first one, Mitrovic forced a very good save from David De Gea, where he headed the ball and it was going not right in the top corner, but close to the top corner, and De Gea got a very good hand to it where he just batted the ball away. Then the next chance was where the ball was played in and Mitrovic headed the ball, but this time instead of it going in the top corner or just near the top corner, it went just wide of the goal. So really Fulham had two very, very clear-cut chances, you could say, to go 2-0 up, but they didn't, and you could admit that they got quite unlucky, especially with that very, very good De Gea save. However, about 20 minutes later, the main incident really happened. So what happened was Anthony played a ball across to Jadon Sancho off a breakaway, and then Sancho went round the keeper. I'm not sure if he went a bit too far and he had to pull it back, but so he pulls it back, shoots, and as Sancho shoots, Willian is coming across the goal, and Sancho shoots, then Willian kind of makes it look like he's trying to put his arm into his body, but he doesn't do it in time, so the ball hits his hand before it's on his body. And then obviously Manchester United are complaining, saying that was handball and everything. So from here, absolute chaos ensued. So bear with me a second as I try to explain this. So what happened was, Manchester United saying, "Oh, that was handball." The ref originally gave a corner. So then obviously he goes over to the VAR thing and goes to look at the possible handball. So obviously a possible penalty. And then the Fulham manager, which I think what he did here is absolutely disgusting. He comes over and gives the ref an earful, gives him a load of abuse, shouts at him and everything. And then the ref I found this quite funny, the ref just turns round, walks up to him, shows him a red card, as the coaches are trying to stop the ref from doing that, like the assistant coaches and all that. So, first of all, that was 100% deserved. You do not shout abuse at a ref, especially when they're going to check an incident. It was stupid from the Fulham coach. I think his name's Marco Silva, but that is an absolutely stupid thing to do. You're meant to be as a coach, you're meant to be a leader. So that is setting a horrible example. So after that, after the ref looks at the incident, he goes on the field and awards the penalty, and then obviously he sends off Willian. But to be honest, I'm going to give credit here. Willian was very calm throughout this. he respected the ref. He didn't go up to the ref and shout abuse at him. I think he knew what he had done. Whether it was deliberate or not didn't really matter. He knew that, yeah, I've probably handled the ball and my arm wasn't in my body, so it's going to be a penalty and a sending off. And he kind of just smiled as if to say, for fuck's sake, I've really screwed up here. So with Willian, I respect how he dealt with it, but this is just what annoyed me so much. So after this, Mitrovic goes up to the ref. He's walking up to the ref. He squares up to the ref, gets in his face, and then after this, the ref kind of like turns away, and Mitrovic puts his hands on the ref and kind of like pulls him back round. So then you can obviously guess what happens. Mitrovic gets sent off as well. That's just got to be one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. Like, it just irritates me when, especially footballers, think that they can do things like that to the refs or the officials in general. It's absolutely ridiculous. Why would you go, get in the ref's face, start squaring up to the ref, trying to act tough, and then put your hands on them? You know you're not supposed to do that. You can't complain about that. So this entire incident literally had Fulham get 3 players sent off. Their manager and 2 players. Two of these were for shouting abuse at the ref and being disrespectful to the official. One of them was just the incident, the handball and all that. So all of these red cards were deserved. They should have been given out. Anyone who says that they shouldn't have been given out, first of all, needs to take a lesson in respect, and then secondly, does not know the rules of the game. So from here, Bruno Fernandes slots the penalty right in the bottom corner. Really couldn't get a much better penalty than that, to be honest. And after this, United just controlled the game. Obviously, against 9 men, you're going to control the game. So for the second United goal, a ball was played across from Luke Shaw, and Sabitzer just got something on it and flicked it into the goal. 2-1. Nothing much more to say about that, to be honest. And then United were really just had the ball constantly. We're going forward. I don't think we had that much urgency to get another goal, which kind of disappointed me a bit. I thought we would have been a bit more urgent to go and get more and more goals. However, near the end of the game, I think the 96th, 97th minute, obviously in injury time, we broke away. Bruno Fernandes got the ball, put an absolute rocket of a ball into the top corner, more or less right at the end of the game. And then, that just sealed the game. So Man United end up winning this game 3-1. I don't think it was a controversial game. People say it was controversial. However, the scoreline didn't reflect really the performances, I'll admit that. But Fulham just imploded. And when you implode in a game like this, especially against a team like Man United with the players they've got, it's like, what do you expect? And also, if you're going to shout abuse at the officials and put your hands on them, you're going to get red cards. That's just what happens. So I don't really know what Fulham were thinking. They lost their heads, and if you lose your head, you don't deserve to win the game. So overall, it's a really weird one. You can argue that Fulham deserved to win the game because they played better, but then you can argue that Man United deserved to go through because they didn't completely lose their heads. So that was probably the most interesting FA Cup game I've seen, most likely ever, to be honest. I can't really think of another FA Cup game, anything like that. Bizarre, just bizarre in a lot of ways. So those are my thoughts on the game, plus a little go through of what happened. Let me know what you think down in the comments about the game, and thank you for listening. If you like the video, leave a like. Interesting games that happen, mostly Man United games, to be honest, that I watch or that I see a lot of. I usually do a bit of a game review. So if you like stuff like that, subscribe. Leave a like if you like my little analysis of the video. Thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next video.